My advice to myself half my age would be to come out of the closet. It would have made the next 11 years a lot easier.
Hindsight is 2020, a phrase we are all familiar with, and it couldn't be more true. There are plenty of research studies that explain why we develop hindsight bias, but for the sake of this video, we're going to keep it simple. The idea is there are moments in our past that we can point to that if we chose to do something different, we would be better off than we are right now. Or at least better off then, until, of course, we eventually submit ourselves to a more ideal way of decision-making at an older age. But we all have some regrets. And today's bigger question focuses on that. What advice would you give yourself at half your age?
So I would tell 15, 16-year-old me that you aren't stuck where you are, that you can have dreams and just do what you love and do what you want, and don't let anyone else tell you not to.
Advice for me at half my age would be to travel. Continuously travel as much as possible before you get sucked into the life of paying rents and mortgages and things that you can't then get out of, and it's very hard to go away at that point. So try and live abroad, try and travel as much as possible. Do it in those years when you have no responsibilities before kids and all of that, so that you get lots of different perspectives, and then when you do decide to come back home or you decide to move away to one of those wonderful places you visited, it just changes your perspective on life and allows you to be a lot more inclusive and understanding of people.
Be more assertive, go for it in business, rise to the top faster, and just ask out like so many more hot chicks.
There's always people out there that doubt you and what it is that you want to do, and so you always end up doubting yourself because of everything that other people have to say about it. So if you do feel something, just give it a go, and if it works out, that's great. If not, you learn from your mistakes and you just don't do them again. So I think that's probably the biggest advice, at least, that I'd give myself in my younger days.
If I were to give my younger self advice, it would just be to continue marching to the beat of your own drum. Don't worry about what anybody has to say and kind of just embody yourself. And also surround yourself with like-minded people. Don't try to don't try to fit with the crowd. Find your own niche and kind of make sure that you're around people who actually do want to see you become bigger or better and kind of want to fulfill your own dreams. Yeah.
Okay, so half my age is about 16. My advice for any 16-year-old teenager out there is that the only opinion that matters is yours. Don't listen to anyone else's opinions about your life or your choices. As long as you're happy and you're a good person, that's just white noise. And I'm saying that because I was 16 and I made lots of bad decisions because of other people's opinions. So.
When I was brainstorming this question, I thought it would be interesting to compare advice that different generations gave themselves at half their age. What difference does a 60-year-old tell their 30-year-old self, and the 30-year-old 15? But in hindsight, I realized that a lot of people, no matter their age, gave themselves similar advice. Like these next three, all from different generations.
Give up on stress and worrying. Only in the last 5.5 years have I learned that. And it's funny because I don't stress about anything and I worry about nothing because it's going to be the way it's supposed to be. And I worried and stressed my whole life until I was 45.
So if I was to give myself advice at the age of 35, my biggest one would be don't sweat the small stuff. Things tend to work out and you can't control everything, so just do your best at the time that you're in.
Relax. It's not as bad as you think it is, and you think it's bad a lot of the time, but it's fine. Everything always works out. You're smarter than you think. Nothing is that bad. And I say that now because you at 25 is pretty anxious. It's fine. Everything's fine. Things always work out. It's okay. You can breathe. It's fine. It's fine.
That advice is one of those easier said than done. It's so difficult, isn't it, to see what's going on when you're in the absolute middle of something? It's only with hindsight we can see things for what they are. But it is possible to be reflective while in the moment. I guess getting close to that is what they are saying. But how do you get there? Would it take someone who completely embraces themselves? The advice from these next two are all about building your character.
Listen. Because if you don't listen, you just stay the same and you keep making the same mistakes. Better to listen.
Be as open as you can. Instead of like a water filter, be like just a sponge. Just sponge up as much stuff and experience. Because that's the only way you'll know, is to taste mustard. It's like, oh, I don't like mustard. Or taste oysters. It's like, I don't like oysters. And then it's like, oh wait, like I like pickles. And you find that out by just trying. Try everything at the buffet. Don't be like, I'm just gonna eat the rice or the French fries or the cheese pasta. Just try everything.
That gentleman spoke a lot about food, but I'm pretty sure he means that you can apply the same advice to many parts of your life. But sometimes you can't choose to experience a lot, and you only have the opportunity to make one big choice. And many of those times, it's because of financial limitations.
I would tell myself, do not take any loans, no matter what it is for college. Go to community college. It's not that bad, in all honesty, or find a way. The loans will kill you. They will swamp you. So don't do it. That's about it. So that's the biggest thing for me.
The advice I'd give myself is to save money and work on getting a good credit score, and don't mess around with those free credit cards they try to rope you into the first week of university. That's the advice I'd give myself for sure. Is money matters. It's not just live for the moment. You got to think about the future.
Money matters. Absolutely. It might not buy you happiness, but having it can save you a whole lot of stress. Financial advice was actually the one we came into contact with the most for this question. And on top of that, there was a theme of people advising themselves how to make comfortable money.
My advice is get into real estate, get into it quick. It's the only thing you won't lose on.
What I would do is first buy a house, 6 months later, leverage the crap out of it and buy another house. And as soon as you can, leverage the crap out of it again and buy another house. And you can probably retire when you're 50 with a ton of money.
But finances are still tight for many people. And that's okay. As the next person says, that doesn't mean you won't get there.
So at half my age, I would tell myself that being broke is a mentality and not a financial thing. You gotta invest in yourself to actually get the money that you really want. So unless you're, if you're broke on the inside, you're never gonna make money on the outside, no matter what you got on. So that's what I say.
When we look back at our younger selves, we often find moments of regret or choices we made that deterred us from our goals at that time. That could be emotionally, financially, whatever they are. But after listening to everyone's answers today, I believe you can simple it down to this. If there are two paths in front of you, choose the one that you believe is the best in that moment to achieve your goals. And in hindsight, you'll realize you made some mistakes, but you chose with the right intention. And as long as that is true, you are on your journey. And as you try to continue to choose those right paths, wherever you end up, maybe you'll have no regrets. But that's just my perspective. What about yours? What advice would you give yourself at half your age? Let me leave you with one more answer. It's from a gentleman who has a little more financial advice, but this time with an emotionally driven spin.
I would say oftentimes people at that age, they're just getting out into the world, starting their careers, and they're really enthusiastic about getting success and chasing money. And I would say don't chase money, chase your passion. You have to do something that you love, because every really successful person I've ever met in life, it was all about their passion. Because when you're passionate about it, you become obsessed with it. The people that are obsessed with what they do, those are the ones that really achieve success in this world. And it's not all about money, because there's lots of ways to make a dime in this world. But you gotta do what you love. Otherwise, before you know it, you're stuck in a grind, and sometimes you can't get out because life comes at you fast, and you get kids and mortgages and responsibilities and all that stuff. So always find what you love and chase what you love, and figure out a way to make money doing that.